Welcome back to The High Ground, the podcast that is all about helping businesses achieve the ultimate advantage over their competition. We use our experiences to discuss business, leadership, and marketing. And this week, we continue our 6-part marketing series that aims to clarify your messaging and make your marketing work for you. This is part 2 of our deep dive into Donald Miller's Building a StoryBrand. Last time, we talked about why most marketing is a money pit when it's not crystal clear. And today, we're zooming in on the first 2 principles of the StoryBrand framework: the character and identifying their problem. If you haven't caught part 1 yet, be sure to check it out. You'll learn why confusion kills sales and how story-based marketing fixes that. We currently have a giveaway running throughout this 6-part series as well, and you don't want to miss the opportunity. How to enter? Simply comment, "Clarify my message," and I'll send you a copy of Building a StoryBrand book by Donald Miller, but that's not all. I will also be offering a completely free 2-hour strategy session where I will walk through and build out your StoryBrand message so your marketing will start producing massive results without needing to increase your marketing budget. Let's jump in and start climbing toward the high ground. The character. That's the first principle you learn in building a story brand. The customer is the hero, not your brand. This is a major paradigm shift and something that majority of businesses miss in their messaging. This simple change in thinking can increase your overall effectiveness overnight. Instead of viewing our brand as the hero, we take on the role of the guide, and we let customers step into the hero's spotlight. Think of Luke Skywalker and Yoda. Luke is the hero, Yoda is the wise guide. That's how we should structure our marketing messages for peak performance. Why this matters? People care about their own story. Audience stay engaged when it's about them. Imagine arriving at a lively party and spotting a group deep in conversation. You stride over, determined to make an impression, and immediately launch into a monologue about your career wins, your expert credentials, and your amazing stories, only to notice the group's eyes start to glaze over. You walk away feeling pretty proud of yourself, unaware that everyone else is left rolling their eyes and silently vowing to steer clear of your one-man show for the rest of the night. Now picture the opposite scenario. You join that same group and begin asking them questions about their careers, their proudest achievements, their families, the challenges they're dealing with, and their perspectives on current events. Instantly, they perk up, they're excited. When you move on, they're left wanting more, and they might even seek you out later in the night. Why? Because you tapped into the basic human truth. People love talking about themselves, and they want to be the hero of their own story. From a psychological standpoint, this is no surprise. Research from the Harvard University shows that talking about oneself triggers the same sensation of pleasure in the brain as money or food. In other words, when you feel heard and recognized, our reward centers light up, reinforcing that good feeling. By focusing on their interests rather than rattling off your credentials, you not only engage them more deeply, but you also form a stronger, more positive impression, just like a good guide in a story who places the hero front and center. As Donald Miller puts it, a story starts with a hero who wants something, and then the question becomes, will the hero get what he or she wants, or will they fail? Unless our messaging clarifies what the customer wants, no one will care. The story simply isn't compelling. So how do you identify what your hero wants? Think specific. If you're a financial advisor, is it a plan for retirement? Or you're a landscaper, is it a lush, envy-worthy lawn? If you're a roofer, is the problem more centered around physical problem like getting rid of a leaky roof? Second, you'll want to open a story gap. The moment we state what the hero, the customer, wants, we create the question. Will they get it? Will they succeed or fail? The gap keeps people engaged, listening and urging to find the answer. And then avoid multiple desires. Focus on one core overarching desire. If you have multiple products or services, you can highlight subplots later. But for now, choose the one desire that most clearly resonates with your audience. Your homepage should feature the main story arc, which highlights your customer's primary goal and the problem they want solved. For instance, if you're a plumber, you might center your homepage on the homeowner's frustration with water rising in the tub during a shower, emphasizing their need for drain cleaning. This is the big picture storyline that most customers relate to right away. Meanwhile, subplots, which represent your additional services and additional problems one may face, can live on their own interior pages. If you offer sewer line replacement, that page should focus specific crisis of sewer line backup, painting a vivid picture that the customer is dealing with foul wastewater flooding their basement. Then, you position your company as the guide who helps them reclaim a clean, healthy home. By separating each service into its own subplot, you maintain a clear overall message while also addressing the distinct problems your customers need solved. The second principle we tackle is companies tend to sell solutions to external problems, but customers buy solutions to internal problems. That's a mouthful, so let's break it down. In every story, the hero faces a problem that disrupts their otherwise peaceful life. Here's the kicker. We usually see 3 levels of problems. The first one is external. This is the obvious physical or tangible problem. The second one is an internal problem. This is the frustration or emotional struggle the hero feels about that external problem. And the third one is philosophical problems. This is the deeper why that makes a situation feel unfair or wrong. So some examples may be, for an external problem, an overgrown lawn. And this leads to embarrassing curb appeal. And then the internal problem is the homeowner feels ashamed or irritated because they lack time or skill to fix it. And then the philosophical problem is, it shouldn't be this hard or expensive to have a decent looking yard. In Building a Story Brand, Donald Miller puts it like this: customers are attracted to us for the same reason heroes are pulled into stories. They want to solve a problem that has, in big or small ways, disrupted their peaceful life. When you highlight not just the external problem, like a broken pipe, but also the internal tension, the customer feels powerless and stressed, you speak to their deeper motivation. So how do you identify the problems in your industry? First, you're going to want to list the external issues. So write down literal, tangible problems that your customers face: leaky pipes, messy yard, complex tax forms. And then you'll want to explore the internal frustrations. Ask what emotional toll these problems create: embarrassment, worry, confusion, fear. And then you'll want to articulate the philosophical problem. Why is this situation just wrong? For instance, it shouldn't be so stressful to plan a retirement, or people deserve a yard they're proud of. Now, let's get this out of the podcast and into your brand. Action step number 1. Who is your hero? It's not you. Your customer is the hero. So let's brainstorm your ideal customer. Refrain from simply stating anyone who has money and needs my service. Try and uncover exactly who they are. Ask yourself questions like, what is their age range? What is their gender? Where are they located geographically? What communities do they live in? What schools do their kids go to? Do they have kids? What is their occupation and job title? What is their household income? So on and so forth. Then ask, what single core desire would that person have if they came to me right now? Maybe write a simple phrase: I help customer X get desire Y. Action step number 2: identify the external, internal, and philosophical problems. Example would be: my customers can't, basic problem, shower without simultaneously taking a bath. The internal problem: they feel emotion, frustrated because of it. And then the philosophical problem: it's just not right that, broader unfairness, that your biggest investment, your home, is having these issues. By doing this, you're opening a powerful story gap. Your brand then becomes relevant because they're naming the struggle they're already experiencing. Completing this exercise for each of your services will give you a treasure trove of insights to rework your messaging so it resonates with people's fundamental drive to survive and thrive. That's it for part 2 of our StoryBrand series. We've clarified who the hero is, your customer, and what problem they face on their external, internal, and philosophical levels. Key things to remember from this episode: people don't care about our story. They care if we can help them win their story. Second thing we learned is go beyond selling a solution to just the external pain. Address the internal struggle, and you'll create deeper loyalty and engagement. On next week's episode, we'll explore how you can position yourself as the guide in your customer's journey, because every great hero needs wisdom, empathy, and authority to help them win the day, and that's where your business can help. Thanks for joining us on The High Ground, your go-to podcast for business, leadership, and marketing. We aim to provide value in each episode so you can reach your goals and have the ultimate vantage point over your competition. If you're ready for more tips, tactics, and inspiration, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this show with others who aim to rise above. Keep striving, keep leading, and we'll see you soon on the High Ground podcast.